Welcome, our viewers, young and old. Tune in to see what the minds of millennials have.
Hey, no need to fear.
Wait a minute. Where you been at?
Wait a minute.
I'm back.
You back?
That's all I'm
Yeah, I'm on vacation.
Hey, take it.
You better use your PTO.
Oh, had to.
Come on,
How do I get in touch with HR?
Don't worry about that.
Right, we got some questions that need answering.
You gotta have a connection.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
It's levels to this.
Damn, Team Maisie made this.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Minds of Millennials. We have two guests today. We have my dad, Mr. Fred, my sister-in-law, Kayla. Welcome, guys, to the show. I ain't gonna say thank you. Oh,
Thank you.
Well, actually glad to be back. It's my third time being on here.
This is my first time.
Well, on this one.
Oh, yeah, this one.
On the old edition. Yeah, I was on it twice.
This is a new edition.
Uh-oh. Cute. You got a cute new edition music right now.
So today we'll be talking about marriage, and we got my dad, Generation X. Kayla is a vet in the millennials marriage game. So I'm gonna ask y'all this: what is the goal of a relationship? Nico, I'm gonna start with you first.
The goal in a relationship?
Yeah. What is your goal when you get in a relationship? What is your goal?
Man, a lot of happiness. That's always the goal. I feel like that should be the main part. Happiness and probably, the other stuff will fall in line, loyalty and compassion and all that good stuff. So,
Curry?
I would say sharpening each other. Iron sharpens iron. So y'all learn from each other. Learn from your mistakes. Come in better than what you were when you first came in,
Right.
Teaching each other, what each other know.
Okay, I try to sum mine up in 3 words. So peace, love, and happiness. Yeah, and like Kirsten said, learn from each other. Always try to evolve and be better together.
I would say it's a combination of, I got my notes right here. But it's, and having a discussion with my wife last night, we were talking about this, it's friendship and compatibility that equals relationship. Because you have to be friends first.
Definitely.
No way around it. No way around it. Gotta be friends first. So I'll keep it short. Yep, I say that.
Okay.
Question one more time.
What is your goal in a relationship?
So, obviously, if you want to be in a relationship, you feel like you need somebody. So, my goal, I think, in a relationship is to just be there for that person. And I think that goes back to what you said, just like being friends. And being there for that person, if that's that person that makes you happy, which it should be the person that makes you happy, then happiness is what you're gonna get. It may not be happiness all the time, but overall, that person should make you happy. You should be there for that person.
cause you wouldn't want your individual to go out to seek comfort from somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel that.
I just feel like friendship is like a main, key thing.
That's the number one thing.
Yeah.
But with a friend though, do you like, all right, so you got your spouse, do you like tell them everything? Cause I feel like some people might not feel like they can open up to their spouse to say something.
Well,
you should.
But God, like me and Fred might say, tell her I gotta talk, but can you like go back and say that to your girl as well?
You talk about the same thing
Like,
with your girl?
you know what I'm saying? Like, say you're gonna do something like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? By your spouse, being your spouse, she gonna like probably be on your side for whatever the case may be, but you know what I'm saying? Maybe you go tell your pops, or pops probably be more like, hey, look, you messed up, you need to do this.
Oh, he all let me tell you something.
What that do?
Anytime I say something, if I say something wrong to Amy, he would say like that. But it's with me, it's a learning thing. Like when you, my goal is to learn my partner, learn all the insecurities, learn her habits, learn her happiness, what makes her happy, what makes her mad, what makes her sad, what makes her cry. That's my goal, is to learn you so I can understand you. Because women are unique creatures, right? So my thing is I'm trying to learn you so I can prevent stuff from past come up in the future.
So technically, you like molding someone to be, not necessarily someone to be what they want, because you want them to change in that aspect, to just be what you want them to be, but like molding each other to be.
You molding what, like, I feel like when people get in relationships, they molding your person to be what you want them to be. That's what I think. I don't know about
You think you molding them to be what you want them to be?
No.
No, it's more so you're not really molding him. It's like that's where the friendship comes in. That's where the conversations come in. That's when you learn, like he was saying, the likes, the dislikes, the wants and needs, and all that comes together to make that relationship. Like he was saying, he knows what she likes, don't like, and he'll come to me with questions, and I was like, hey, don't do that, because I'm the vet, he's the rookie in the marriage life, so nobody taught me nothing. I had to learn as I went.
Yeah.
My pops was already passed on when I got married the first time, so now I'm trying to school him to, things I know that he shouldn't say, to his wife. He knows her better than I do, but I just give him general, knowledge and information. Like, man, that's, when you talk, don't talk at her, talk to her. Because you don't want her to feel like she's being preached to or talked down to. I said, and it goes both ways, you know what I'm saying? So it's, communication is critical.
Yes, number one.
I guess another way to answer your question, you were saying, do you just bring those things to your spouse? You should be able to tell your spouse everything. Trust me that she will want to know everything.
Right.
It's worse off whenever it's heard from somebody else. But I have learned, I have a bestie and she's married too. And one thing that they do is they have like an unbiased opinion outside of their relationship. So for her, it's me, and her husband, he would call like one of his friends just to get an unbiased opinion. Keep in mind, that person needs to be of like mind. If that person is not married or in some type of stable relationship, engaged or something like that, you can't always seek advice from that person.
And that's where I've been going wrong, and that's what I was gonna say, because you're not wrong. You said, well, I've heard it a lot when you said that, like, you more than what you want them to be. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they say that, but then they're not like allowing their partner to like, hey, you need to work on this. They're like, well, I don't see nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? So I have heard that before.
Well, with me, it's like I ask her what's her goals. Like if you like for instance, not no offense, like if she like if I say like something like I want to be like my pops, but then I give you a description of how he was. So my her expectation is, okay, everything you don't want to be like him, I'm challenge you not to do that. That's what I was saying about the motives. Like I asked her, okay, you don't want to be like if you don't like this about your mom, right? I'm going to challenge you, make sure you don't do that. Okay. So that's what the motive comes from, like molding that person not to be the path like their parents. Right. So that's another goal.
And really, that's where I think the saying with our parents, don't do as I do as I say. Like I done been there, done that. I'm trying to teach you and lead, because I already learned the hard way. I had to hit my head hard, and now I have the chance to stop you before you even hit that wall.
All right. That's good. So most of us in here got significant others as well. So, like, what would be the deal breaker? Would be like, all right, look, this can't work. This ain't on. Like, what would be the deal breaker? I guess we'll start.
Yeah, start.
No, I have to start.
Start the nigga.
Why you have to start with me?
I mean, you right.
So okay, you say deal breakers for like the relationship I'm in now, or like just overall?
Oh, we'll go
before.
overall.
You talking about before?
We'll go
overall.
Okay, so beforehand, I didn't want to be with anyone that had kids, so that was a deal breaker for me.
Right.
That's just my standard. Y'all, some people laughing when I say that. It's like, I don't
No,
have kids,
That's
so.
real though.
Yeah,
I don't want to be
You
have
want to
kids,
build
you
your
know?
own family though.
Right. So that's one, and then I can't stand a liar. So just like constant lying, I don't like that. Cause I'm gonna be honest with you.
So-
Why
so
you
like-
can't be honest with me?
It's like the little lies or is it like the big lies?
A lie's a lie. A lie's a lie.
That's true, but I'm pretty sure you know it's like certain levels of lying.
What you lying about? What you trying to
It's like I know you gonna get mad. Like all right, so
No, just
like
be
say your
real.
boyfriend out with the guys. You know what I'm saying? He felt like Kevin Hart said he fell asleep with his friend house playing ping pong.
Why you
Like they drinking and stuff. Would you believe that? Like would you like, well, baby, you know, I just, you know.
That's careless.
That's careless.
You being careless.
Oh,
Why are you out
Because I feel like
somebody else's house?
I feel like it took the saying, like it took one snowflake to start that avalanche. Like you need to catch yourself way before. I'm not finna tolerate no lying because then what else you gonna lie about?
Right.
What if he wasn't lying though? He's just saying.
But
like,
that's why you-
what if he's just saying like?
That's more of
to-
a trust thing. I see what you're saying. It's
Yeah,
more of a
you know what
trust
I'm saying?
thing. You gotta trust your partner. But see, that's the thing. Like, even though I would tell you something, you might think I'm still lying though. So is it really a trust thing?
But then you have to lie because you didn't want to disappoint them either.
So was you at this house or was you not?
Period.
Let's see what you gotta say about it. So what's your deal breaker? Like, you like, I'm done with this. I'm out.
Well, I'm married now, so
So
I think
beforehand.
okay. So I think beforehand, there's red flags that you would see. If lying is probably a red, it's a red flag. I was in a relationship before. It was just like a friendship. And what made it so scary, the guy was like calling me, asking where I was. So that's a red flag. Ladies, if y'all are just in a friend stage and he already does not trust you like that, that's a red flag. Do not engage in a relationship.
Don't force it.
Right. Don't go any further. So those were just two that I experienced.
Alright.
Just
What you got? What's up beforehand before you know?
Marriage.
It was like everybody said. Lying was like if I'm gonna be honest, I speak the same way. Like I always like, well, me, I trust everybody until you show me you can't be trusted. That's why. That's how I am. But no one's
Trust
like,
everybody. I don't know.
I trust people to a level, not the level they think that I trust them.
Yeah.
I trust you to do the best for you at all points, all
Yeah,
fashion, any day, every day. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't trust you to be like, I'm gonna do the best for you too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if I had $1 million, you had $1 million, and I want to start my business, you want to start your business, I feel like my business is gonna see. You might feel the same way. I'm gonna use my $1 million for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how it is. You know what I'm saying? So, but get back on time. Yeah. So never done. What about you? What you got?
Deal breakers for me and
Before you got married.
yeah. Well, I mean, even like before I got married, because I'll explain. Like in the dating process, no, me and my wife, it was constant communication. We knew likes and dislikes. So one thing for me, like, I'm not a fan of smoking. You know, I mean, the marijuana thing is, I'm talking about cigarettes. I hate it. 'Cause my dad smoked, my grandmother smoked, you know what I'm saying? Both those were issues in their deaths, you know what I'm saying? So, but I don't like to see a woman with a cigarette. That's the deal breaker. Deal breaker. No offense to anybody who smokes. That's just me. That's my personal opinion. But see, my wife now, she knew that beforehand. She wasn't a smoker. That's one thing that attracted to me. Like, she don't smoke. That's
another thing.
Right, and I don't like. I'm not a fan of women who curse like all the time. Like, you know, man, this is making me crazy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Just every other word is a cuss word. It's a deal breaker. But again, she knew that before we got married. Because my wife had a little mouth on her. She'll tell you, like, she let them fly. Not constantly, but she'll reel them off. Usually when you have to make them mad. But she knew that, and she actually changed. I didn't ask her to do that, but she knew in order for us to move forward, if she's gonna have a chance with me, she was going to change that. So people change for what they want to change for.
It's true.
My wife took that out of her. Like, she rarely curses now, and only time I curse is to and from work. So I I used to drop them too. I used to curse a lot too. But yeah, she changed that, man. And another thing, the third one is like I can't stand lying.
Right.
Like, and going back to what you were saying, like big lie, little lie. To me, a little lie is like, hey, who drank more the last?
Yeah, that's all.
You know, it's like it's on two people in there. It had to be you. You know what I'm saying? I don't get mad about that. But you know, the big stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we all know what big lies are. So
Yeah.
So that's my 3 right there. It's top 3. So, but that's stuff that you know that you'll find out during the courtship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Dating or whatever y'all want to call it. So.
I think my biggest one is knowing the Lord, like be able to go to church. Because I feel like if you're not able to go to the Lord, what else are you going to turn to? What, like when that time, if we getting into a huge fight, how I know you're not going to turn to alcohol or you're going to turn to something else other than what I need you to turn to help us through this time of our life, you know? And lying and ladies being disrespectful to his mother. If he's going to be disrespectful to his mother, what do you think he's going to treat you like? So that's a big thing. Like I'm always like pay attention to how like their relationships is with, you know, their mother, their father, you know, whoever. If you can talk to your mother crazy, baby, you're not for me.
That'd be another red flag.
Can it be like a situation in which like my dad basically raised me, you know what I'm saying? But my mom, we weren't really close until like my senior year. We passed up, you know what I'm saying? We good, you know what I'm saying? But like, what if he was like his mother wasn't always there? Like, not saying my mother was there, but like, say his mother was there. You know
that plays a part too. You
Yeah,
gotta think
you know
about
what
that.
I'm
If you're a man and your mother's not there, how do you know how to treat a woman?
Yeah, exactly. You can only go so far with your parent, your
Yeah.
pops, you know
But
what I'm
I
saying?
feel like you learn from I'm not like, it's not your mistake to learn from, but it's just like wanting to do better than what you already been through. So I feel like it's still that tolerance of respect up here. You know, you still won't have respect. That's still your mother. That's still your father. Still have, you know, it's still up there. Even though they might have not been in your life like they were supposed to, it's still the respect thing, you know. You're not gonna talk to them crazy, you know. You don't know what they went through to get them through that part, but you know, they're trying, you know.
I have one to add. Communication.
Oh yeah, that's
Communication. Oh my gosh. And I guess that goes hand in hand with friendship. But I know guys sometimes play this game where like, I'm not gonna text her back right now. I'm gonna wait till like 2 days later.
Females do the same thing.
And
Now. Hold on.
Okay,
They call it life being taken.
But I feel like that was so childish back then. Like
They still doing that.
it goes both ways.
So-
But in
In
order
to
to
double tick so fast.
So you didn't see my previous section?
So I was just like, all right, so we got on that, you know, communication and that, the double texting thing. Like, what about that?
I don't do that.
Like, the person, like, you gonna text them, you know what I'm saying, and then like they ain't text back like 4 or 5 hours, you know, thinking in your head they could be asleep. You gonna send that text again, or you just gonna wait till they respond? Like,
I mean, part of how you're gonna get to know each other is by communicating. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't like, oh, he probably asleep. You wouldn't think that unless you actually know that person. So I don't like that whole like, let's pause. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna text her. In a few days. No, if y'all gonna get to know each other, if you guys gonna be in a relationship, just be transparent. Just
But double text is like what Kay was saying with communication. Just let the person know I'm going to take a nap or I'm going with the boys. Like
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
communication.
If
They'll let me
I
know,
feel like
like-
you got to play head games with me, baby, you're not for me.
my girl did
Period.
before we moved in, dude. I'm gonna take this shower, blowing me up.
Yeah, like
We're gonna take this nap. I'm playing the game, baby.
if I'm playing the game, if I late respond, I'm still.
Yeah, I'm playing the game. I'm up. I just didn't see it. You know, can't pause this. I'm playing Call of Duty.
So let me ask y'all this. So to the OGs of the marriage game, what does marriage mean to you? I'll start with you first.
Actually, you know what? I reached out to wife on this one. Kind of like the definition you mean?
Yeah.
Your definition.
Yeah, your definition.
Yeah. It's
Y'all feel
Right, because, you know, me being married, we communicate a lot, you know what I'm saying? Quick definition is like, I'm just gonna read this real quick. It's like, it's a connection with a listening ear, validation, empathy, sharing, and understanding. It's commitment, which, you know, I think somebody said that earlier. The act of choosing a partner for life and implying unconditional acceptance. Flaws and all, because you gotta be willing to, nobody's perfect, let's put it that way. Nobody's perfect. So you can't go into a marriage thinking that, you know, hey, I'm A1, you know what I'm saying? You don't get no better than me. You know what I'm saying? In your eyes, but you know what I'm saying? But you learn and grow, you know what I'm saying, with each other. That's what it is. And it's, and one word, marriage is commitment. It's commitment to one another. And it's lots of love.
Hard work and dedication.
Yeah, hard work and dedication. Hard work and dedication. So I'll leave it at that. I'm pretty sure we may have some similar.
Oh yeah, he pretty much he pretty much hit it on the head. A lot of what I've learned about marriage, I learned from my pastor, my first lady, Pastor Montgomery, and co-pastor Watson Montgomery. And pretty much, it's like it's becoming one.
Exactly.
It's two people becoming one, and he would often say, even though it's not mathematically correct, 1 and 1 make 1, because in the end, your goal is not to become two separate people. You wanna learn each other, and in those years, you go through what he would call growing pains.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say growing pains in a lot of things, you know, just getting older, but yeah, and you're gonna go through stuff, you gotta take some hits. So if you don't have all of what he just said, if you're not, if you're thinking this person's gonna be perfect, you might even learn some new stuff, and you
Exactly.
and it might put you on a wall, but you have to be willing to be able to communicate and pray and fight for that person if you want to make it out.
Right.
I mean, not make it out, but
Yeah,
keep going.
Right. Yeah, you gotta be willing to adapt. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I don't think they pretty much hit the head on everything. It's just like she said, it's like you're one will, and you're coming together for one glory, for like you're one vessel, one flesh now. It's just like you can't think selfishly no more. You're not by yourself no more. You have to think you and this person. It's just like Bishop said earlier, if I had $1 million, baby, that $1 million is no longer just yours. It's, you know, you're doing it for the betterment of your family. You're building, I don't say a palace, but you're building this kingdom of like yours, like you and your family, you know, bigger, you know. Whew. I don't know.
Yeah, my definition is kind of the same. Like two people coming together as one. That's just a simple way to put it.
I mean, y'all just hit all of them. It ain't much more I can say. I just be saying the same thing, but you know, just becoming one. You know, knowing that it's the Lord is the two or your family or whatever it may be, and not just you no more. You know, so.
Exactly.
All right, Kirsten and y'all didn't know Kirsten and Anthony are both engaged. So I'm gonna ask y'all this: how it feels to be engaged? It's, you know, it's different from being just real boo to oh my God, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it definitely feels different because like Kirsten was saying, like when you get engaged or when you're in a relationship, you're just in a relationship. Like I wouldn't say it's nothing serious, but you're like, okay, I'm in a relationship. But when you get engaged, you're like, okay, it's more, and this is getting serious. And then we're gonna be married. It's gonna no longer just be me. It's gonna be two people, and you have to think about that. Like I no longer can do things for me.
Right.
It's gonna be for us.
Right.
So that's one thing about being engaged.
Kirsten.
It's definitely different. I wouldn't say like at first when I like if you would have asked me this question 2 or 3 years ago, I would have just said, oh, it's just a piece of paper. Nothing, it makes nothing of a difference. But now it's just like I see like it's bigger. It's one. It's just like so much in this marriage that it's two wheels coming together, like molding and like conquering together. Y'all gonna conquer so much in this journey. It's just like y'all don't know what it's gonna be in front of y'all, but it's just like you and this person is gonna go through it together, not by yourself, but together. You know?
Regardless, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, that kind of gives me like comfort too, cause like, you know, I won't face it alone. I have, you know, my best friend, cause Terrence is my best friend. You know, I have him there to face it with me, so it kind of gives me like hope too.
All right, so Kayla and Pops, you got any advice for the engaged people, the two new engaged people? You got any advice for them? Sorry for John
So pretty much everything he just said, listen to me.
Yeah.
And like I said, communication is always a big thing to me, because if you know what the other person is going through, what they're thinking, what they're up against, their aspirations, then you're able to be there for them, and that person is able to be there for you.
Yeah, I would just say for you guys, be willing to, like I said before, adjust. It's like you just said this, it's not about you anymore, it's gonna be about both of you. So you gotta have an open mind. You shouldn't want to go into a relationship with a closed mind anyway.
Right.
So definitely keep an open mind. And I would say, man, it goes back to communication again, y'all. Like she just said, I think it's in Terrence, that's your best friend. He should be. That's, and I forgot to mention that earlier. Like your mate should be your best friend. Like you should be able to talk to them about anything and everything, because you don't want them going to some outsides, to an outside source. Something they should be talking to you about. Now, like you were saying, I think Bishop, you said, if you got somebody that you go to outside, like a best bud or something like that, I mean, that you can talk to, that's fine. But I mean, the ultimate goal is to be able to tell your spouse. Resolve, right. You two should be able to resolve your issues together. So that's the advice I would give, is just to keep an open mind and be willing to adapt.
I got a big question. All right, so everybody here, you know, in the process of being married and all, et cetera. But like, what? I'm gonna start with Fred with this one. So what made you like? All right, you know what? This the one I'm gonna do. The elbow, we finna get down. We finna. Like, what made you like? Yeah.
Okay, so with me, I always have in my mind what I want in life. So me, I'm an analyst. I'll analyze everything.
Right.
So once Amy started showing me things I never told her what I wanted in a relationship. I never did.
I feel like you shouldn't tell you. You shouldn't tell the person what you want, because you don't want them to be something that
you want them to, expectations. So I kept a list in my head. I was like, okay, she done all this. I was like, okay, well, you know what? So one day I went to K's Jeweler, shop K's Jeweler. I went there with my mom. Yeah, I better get paid for it. Y'all better line me up.
You ain't in the country.
But how I knew was like, how I really knew was when I went to K's. I wasn't even looking for it, honestly. I was just like, let me just look and see what I could find. Just kind of an idea. So I went there with my mom, my brother, and I was like, we just looking around. I was like, Amy already told me from the jump, give me a ring, it gotta be one, different, and two, it better be big.
Wait, what?
So I ain't really think, but I was like, I told my mom was like, what she want? They were like, what she wants? Like, look, she wants something different. Like, y'all gotta give me something that's authentic. Like, that's just like ain't regular, no rinky dinky ring. You know, it's a gaming ring.
You could give her a ring pop.
What?
It's big. It's different.
Yeah.
Right.
So when I went to K's Jeweler, went to the jeweler, and they numbers started changing numbers, and I got like
Real sweet deal, huh?
a big deal. And I said, okay, guys, guess do let me know then. I'm gonna put the ring on. So I hid it because she knows it.
Wait a minute. I just want to let y'all know right now. Just thinking about Amy putting the ring on this girl's finger. I can see her face. This is nice. I better be getting my ring.
God, they see that ring pump. I'll take this, but I want the other ring.
So my ring is at the house though, right?
Well, she wanted a big ring because she thinks she has big hands. So that's why she was like, I got big hands, so she feel like a little diamond gonna
Make the hand look big.
Yeah, make the hand look big. So, that's how I do. That's what I do.
She started.
Yeah, like
Check marks.
I would advise like with men or women, it's like have a list, but don't, cause I'm not saying like she didn't meet everything, but she met majority of what I wanted. The basics, what I wanted. So I was like, okay, I can work on other stuff. Yeah. She don't have to be perfect. Right. She just have to be what I want. Yeah. So it's the thing like when you for men, if you want to think about the question, it's like does she give you what you want? Yeah. But also, does he? You don't have to see. Yeah. I mean that's disrespectful. You say no, disrespectful, but it's also a women thing. Like y'all have to have that conversation. Like I asked her, what is your age? What's the age you want to get married? What's the age you want to get engaged? All that stuff.
So when she gave you the age, did you feel any pressure? Like I need to step it up. Like did she?
No, I didn't because like with me, things start changing quick. Like once we moved in an apartment together, things unraveled real quick. So that's when I knew then, cause that's how I knew then I was ready. Right. Cause my dad asked me the night before I proposed. He asked me, he said, "Dude, are you serious? Are you sure? This ain't no, y'all ain't let you no more. Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm sure about the ring. I think I'm sure." So yeah, that's how I knew, man. Just like praying about it. I had all kind of signs. Me and God made a deal. She provided that. She didn't know the deal. Me and made the deal.
And I asked him that because I didn't want him to feel pressure to do what I say. Hey, dude, just think about it. Make sure. Not trying to cast doubt. Because nobody asked me. Like when I got married, nobody asked me that. I'm like, man, my parents like, okay, I guess that's what you want to do. But I just wanted to make sure he like, hey, just think about it. Make sure. And if you in your heart, if you ready, go for it.
See, but I love that you did that because a lot of young men don't have that to like, look, are you sure? Are you ready? Like, cause you don't want to necessarily go in broken because I feel like if you go into a marriage broken, you're looking for them to fix you and baby, it's not gonna work. You should already, I wanna say like, be fixed. They should be adding like to you, like being like a cherry on top.
I'm gonna add something to that. Like, you'll find out more when you do marriage counseling. Mm-hmm. Like, you can be fixed if you want to be fixed. Marriage counseling, that's when you, that's when you like you said, when you're broken. A marriage counselor can help you understand, cause some stuff, like y'all engaged, y'all don't know. Do y'all know everything about your?
I wouldn't say I know everything about it. I mean.
It's a lot.
It's still a lot of process.
It's always a learning process.
Right. It's like some people like you might deal with something traumatic in your life, but your partner may not know that. Yeah. And like you may know, but you don't know how to handle it. So a marriage counselor will say, "Hey, Bishop, you need to do this," or "Hey, Kirsten, Danita, hey, maybe y'all need to learn how to communicate." That's what like marriage counseling can kind of bring y'all. Honestly, it can make or break you. Because you're gonna find stuff about your partner you did not know. You're gonna find stuff that you like. Your partner might not like something that you do, but you might like, oh, hey, marriage counselor gonna tell you, hey, you the problem. You better fix it.
And you want to talk about those things then.
Mm-hmm.
I call it the referee. The referee. You talk about that stuff that may be not the red flags. It may just be stuff that. We need some more clarity on this issue. We need an unbiased opinion on this issue. We need advice from male, female, whatever perspective.
I want to know how you feel like before you propose. I'm asking guys first, because you're the guys, man. You gotta get down to you propose. Anyone of y'all did it? Did y'all propose? That's an episode for another day. All right. So
I just, it's like you just know. Right. Mm-hmm. Like, you just know, like I actually fought it because I had just came out of a divorce. Right. So I was about ready to go live my best life. And then I meet this woman who I actually knew from a long time ago, but I forgot about it. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until we started talking and we realized, like, wait, damn, you're the same person, mama. You know what I'm saying? Because we know a lot of the same people. Right. But it's like I just knew it. I just knew it, and kind of like what Fred was saying is, you know what the criteria is, and it's like she was meeting the criteria, but but I didn't want her to because I didn't want to get back. I'm like, man, this is like, she's hitting everything. Like, I was like, dude, come on. I even told my brother Adrian, I told him, I was like, man, I think I'm following this. That's not what I want. I did not, because after, I literally built a wall up.
Right.
Because I'm like, I'm not doing this again.
She came through.
She can't right. She kept hitting at it, and I don't think she realized she was chipping at it.
Right.
But she did, and it's like I'm like, man, I just the more time we spent together, again, the communication thing, and it was every time we spent more time together, it's like, wow, again, another nail. She's checking off another. I'm like, man, it's like, it was at the point where, dude, we were finishing each other's sentences in a dating phase.
Yeah.
That's something people do when they get married. Sometimes you know what the person that you know them so well. It's like I already knew this chick from a long time ago, and it's like it was weird to us. We would finish each other's sentences and be like, "What the?" Like how you not supposed? You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. So it's like we clicked and gelled. So it's almost like two puzzle pieces fitting.
Right.
Where as before I think it was more like two pieces. How the puzzle don't fit, you try to jam it. Yeah, it's like you're going in there, but nah, this one is like click.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I think I'm about to ask this lady to marry me. Like, you kidding me? And I did. I just knew it. Man.
That's why I think like the Lord, tell the Lord your plans and He'll laugh. You thought you was finna go live your best life, but God said, here you go.
Yeah.
Here you go.
And I prayed about it too. And you mentioned the Lord, man. I was like, I asked God, like, dude, I ain't say dude, the Lord. I'm like, God. I'm like, is this? I'm like, is this real? You know what I'm saying? Like, give me a sign or something.
And
like,
he
he kept giving me signs. Like, hit it.
Like, say something else. Before I got engaged, I had a plan. Like, I wouldn't get where I did not plan this because me. I had my mind, look, when I go to college, I'm gonna live like college boy life, you know what I'm saying? And then like after I get done with my master's, that's when I was gonna find somebody. But my two was never to be married now. Like we saying, like you just said, God left it what you planned. I'm telling you, I did not see this. You asked me 10 years ago, hey Fred, you think you're married by 23? I was like, no.
How I feel to be married, like how that feel to
Man,
I'm married to
it's great, man. And I think I can say it's great because of the amount of years I've been married.
Yeah.
Like I know how to appreciate it.
Right.
And man, it's good to come home at the end of the day to somebody that loves you unconditionally. And I have two kids at home that are at the door waiting. That helps. But I know my wife is my rock. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we enjoy each other's company, each other's time. So it's like I love it. Marriage is not for everybody. I hate when people try to force it. You know what I'm saying? I just love growing. Like I've done more the last 7 years with her than in the 17 years I was married previously. Right. It's like we've experienced more together because we've both been willing to grow and experience new things. So, man, I love it. I love it.
That's good. How do you feel?
I'm the same. I still do feel like we're still kind of in the honeymoon phase. We'll be approaching 9 years this year. Being married.
Wait, hold on. Oh, that's good now. Y'all still
Okay, for everybody knows she's a millennial.
So y'all still rubbing noses.
So I think that stuff comes and goes because there's gonna be some times when you feel like you want to square up. To be real.
Yeah.
And in those times, sometimes I've learned it's not just a few hours and you're over it, not just a few weeks. We went through a rough patch for a few months, just being at odds with each other. But like you said, communication and being able to stick it out. But yes, we still have those moments when we lovey-dovey and rubbing noses and holding hands.
That's good.
It's a little different with 3 kids. Sometimes you miss those intimate moments, having young kids or whatever. But
so you cherish those moments when you get them, though.
yes.
I ain't gonna lie, I got in trouble when I Like when people ask me, when after we first got engaged, when I came back to work, they were like, "How is it feeling?" I was like, like my owner's like the owner of the store, he was like, "It's gonna be the happiest day of your life." I'm like, dude, it's like we've been together.
You gonna say it's not?
Huh?
You gonna say it's not?
No, it is.
Right.
Look, I ain't gonna lie, like people ask her the same thing. She's like, nothing's really like because we was already preparing we was already preparing stuff. Like people talking about savings, like accounts and all that stuff. So we was kind of already in that mindset. So like with me and her, it's like, yeah, I got a ring in my finger, but it's certain stuff that we still learning now. We know we've only been married for 4 months. Like 4 months. Thank you.
Just gotta say it. Hold on, boy.
I want to wait till you finish.
Oh, go ahead. I remember. What's up?
So, you know, while you're dating, you sometimes could be intimate, you know, before. But I would say, I forgot how I was pigtailing on you. But oh, you were saying that people ask you how is it different?
Yeah.
Like whenever, and my response was the same. And I was like, the only thing is I don't feel guilty after after sex. I feel like, you know, that's what I should give to my husband. And but the reason why I said that, if you're doing it before and you're dating, it can be problematic in how you view your spouse. I'll just say that. So I think it's best to like
Cut.
just wait, you know.
Like I think in marriage counts they ask you to kind of stop.
Yeah.
When you get married. Like they ask you like, look, y'all want to stop having sex. You want to make sure.
Hey, now we got 2 kids. Like something new every day. Go ahead.
But yeah, like our marriage counsel asked her like, can y'all stop? You know, we waited way too late to do a marriage counsel. We waited. She's like, she asked her every time we do sex, have y'all waited? We was like, it was an accident. Maybe some one guy. Wait a minute. How is it? It was an accident.
Okay, Kristen.
It was an accident. Sometimes when you drink wine, it just takes place.
You're not you no more.
But we're talking to people that are maybe looking to get in a relationship or maybe engaged.
Right.
So that's my advice. I dated for a long time, and my husband was actually, he was my first. I don't know,
Yeah.
but he was my first, and I had a lot of relationships that ended fairly quickly because sis wasn't giving it up. Sis was like, you know, hold up, you know. And so even though I did it before, you know, we actually got married. I'm kind of glad that I waited that long because I got to see that
Real stuff.
what I was dealing with. So even though I felt like I felt kind of broken, you know, I was able to see my value later on. I was able to see the value that I had then, and you have value.
Amen.
Even though, if you know your wife material, this is so additional. If you know your wife material and you cooking for this person, you cleaning up after this person, you doing all this stuff, and there's no this person hasn't proposed or at least planned to propose to you.
No gesture towards marriage.
No gesture towards marriage. Please stop. Please stop it. You're investing so much. As women, we put our emotions into everything.
Right.
And it grows, it flourishes. But don't feed into a person that's not willing to be in it for the long haul with you. Don't do it.
I would say this too, with it's like, back to you saying, like, I would like with me, I advise people, if you're in a relationship and tell me I might get mad, 4+ years and you know ring, it's time to move on. Like seriously, because you plan, if you're doing like Kayla said, you're doing all these white material things and he still haven't popped the question, you should be out. Because he don't value as a woman, he don't value as
Would you say be out or cut off some of the white material things that you do? Because you know you just doing 4 years in the dirt.
But this is that's what I was saying. Before when you get in a relationship, ask that person, do they want to be married?
It's the goal to one day to get married.
Yeah, ask them that. And now if that person say, yeah, and you do these things, and he's still not proposing, yeah, I'm telling them to leave. Because you're investing too much time. You're basically wasting some of your time.
Why easier to say than done.
Because you could be putting energy into something else or in another person, helping somebody else that want to actually be with you, and you know. So I can see what you're talking about, Fred.
Just like don't waste your time. It's too many people that's been in a relationship 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, still got ring, but you do
You
things.
don't take that one.
That's what I'm saying. They said like, you know, I was reading something that said in the first 6 months a man know if they want to marry or not.
That's true. A guy's gonna know if he wants to be with you or not. I've got 3 boys and a girl, and I promise you, I'm gonna teach my daughter the game.
I'm telling you, I got a girl
Because I promise you, she won't be with a dude for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, just still at a girlfriend status. I'm gonna teach her to know her worth. Like, you're the prize. You know what I'm saying? So, like he was saying, it don't take long. A guy knows if he's gonna want to spend the rest of his life with that woman. If he's not proposing, then for lack of a better term, he's just kind of stringing you along, basically. Just to see what happens.
The pursuit has ended.
Right. The pursuit is in it, and then I think a lot of women sometimes they get comfortable. Now he's comfortable. Well, it's cool what we got. You know, it's no real commitment.
A lot of people, like, I grew up, you know, where I grew up from, a lot of people not married, and it was just like, why get the girl involved? You know, like you said, just paper, you know.
Right.
So a lot of people feel like that. But I want to see, you know, back then, I mean, different from now, I was getting married back then, you know what I'm saying? So what's like the difference between then and now? You know?
I think one of the biggest differences now is, man, social media wasn't around back then. I'll give you a quick example. Like, whenever my wife and I would have, this is pre-COVID, of course, we would have date nights. Because you have to make time. You have to make time for yourself.
Still pursuing it.
Right. So I'm telling y'all, every time we would go to a restaurant to eat, you know, we'd sit down, and it's couples in there young, it's couples in there old, whatever. Almost all of the young couples, this is what they're doing. The guy sitting here, the girl sitting there, both of them doing this right here. And the older couples know what they're doing. Chit chat. They're talking. And now they may have a phone on a table, but they were almost never doing this right here, the older couples. And we would sit there and look around and be like, damn, ain't nobody talking to each other. You know, and I think that's a big thing because everybody wants to know what somebody just posted. Or, you know, look at this food I'm eating. You know, everybody wants to know what's going on right now. When you're on a date night, it's about you and that person. Nobody else matters. And I think that's a big thing now is communication seems to have gone out the window. A lot of people let outside influences into their marriages, and you know, you can be out with somebody and you see, like I may see Bishop over there, you know, chilling, like, man, that ain't his wife. Hey man, Bishop. I'm personally not gonna do that, but that's what people do. You know, I see Bishop over at the table. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, they take your picture, and it's social media. To me, I think it's got a big effect on marriages and from my generation to today's generation.
How do you feel about that?
So were you asking what has changed?
Yeah. How would you feel that it's changed? Like, from
What's different from the generation?
what? Would you why? You say what? Why?
Generation X.
X, and you know, millennials to this day.
Or you can talk about your grandparents, like, you know, your grandparent marriage was way different from now because, like, grandparent marriages, like, they fought everything. Men cheat on their wife, guess what?
Yeah, I was just about to say
They weren't going nowhere.
They weren't going nowhere.
They worked through it.
Yeah,
People
because
quick to get a divorce now.
I told some of the story from back then.
Yeah,
it's like it's no hard work. Like people are so quick to leave.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you gonna cheat on me? I'm gone. Like,
Should they not be though?
huh?
Should they not be though?
I understand.
Like, kids and stuff?
I understand that. I know, like, I was saying that before we shoot podcasts, you know what I'm saying? I go to the question room, girl, we sit down, and I be like, so what's the deal breaker for you to be like, hey, bitch, you know what? I'm done with you. I'm out. She said, you cheated. And I was like, I understand. You know what I'm saying? That's something you should stand on. That should go. Like, previous relationship, like etc. But it's like, you shouldn't bring that into this relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure I'm doing far more. Not saying that I was going to do it. Not saying that. Not cover up for that. But I'm just saying, like, I've done 20, 30 times far more. I feel, not just to hold it and bring it along, you know. And anybody else ever did. You know what I'm saying? So it's good for you to just say, yo, you messed up. Like, nobody wake up and say, Kevin Hart said the best. Hey, I'm finna go out and fuck up today. I'm finna do it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, is it that easy for you to just say, yo, I'm done? Like, you want to hear why, what, you know, what caused it, anything like that? And she was like, no, I'm out. And I understand, like, I respected it. You know, outside the side, I respected it. She said, what if I did? I like, we'll sit down, we'll talk, and we'll make sure it doesn't happen again. But if it happen again, then get it to them.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying?
You know what's funny? I'm gonna tell you a funny story about Amy. I asked her, I was like, it was probably cheating. I was like, what if I cheat? She said, it's done. I said, okay, what if you cheat? She said, oh, you might forgive me?
It's like,
if they cheat, like I hate talking about this. Like women cheat, it's like I feel like it's emotional.
it's more emotional than when a guy.
Like if
you're not covering up for the reason for a guy cheating. I mean, I just feel like it's like women not just most women. Let me get that out there. Most women not gonna go out and just say, I like this guy. We've been talking for a couple weeks. I'm gonna have sex with him. Knowing he got a boyfriend. For a guy, it's like. It's more of a manly thing to say that you still got it. You know what I'm saying? To say you still got it.
It's a strong ego. Like,
but again, I'm not covering up for a reason for a man to go like cheat. Well, I got the ego. I'm cheat. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that at all. I'm just saying that it's more of a thing, like a manly thing. You know what I'm saying? To say like.
I think like you were saying, like women, it's like maybe you're not giving your woman what she wants, so she'll seek out.
Yeah, that's it. That's why I say when.
Now, men cheat.
Just excuse my language, mess up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're like it's more of an ego, man. It's like you think I can't go out in the streets and do it. Well, I'm about to show you.
Especially
communicate. Go back to
communication.
But I think that's where, again, I mean, that's where you have to keep God as the core.
Right.
Because if you don't, then this is exactly where you start going out and trying to find stuff that's not meant to be in your relationship. You're going to look for something to fill you.
Right.
When that's not what is supposed to feed you. You know, like how I'm saying, like your ego is not supposed to feed you. It's not supposed to fill you like that, you know? And that's where the outside, like, either it be a man or a woman, they come in and they try to, like, you know, be a temptation to you. You should be able to be filled already and be like, that's not for me, you know? I got something right here for me, already prepared for me. And it's just like when those problems come up in your marriage or wherever, if you're engaged or in a relationship, you need to be preparing for that marriage. Or if you're already in marriage, this is just a trial you're getting through right now. Don't turn to nothing else, you know?
I want to say something. When like you said, social media, that's like social media plays in why people cheat. Mm-hmm. What you see, it's like what the thing is like with this generation, millennials, is easier to cheat because DMs. They ain't have DMs back in the day. You might have to ride a horse to the later house.
Wait a minute. I think you're trying to call me out on something.
Like we got Ubers. No, it's like lives, hotels, and all that stuff.
It's instant access.
Yeah,
because you can take a picture and send a picture of your ass to somebody. You know what I'm saying? You can do that.
And you got dating apps and stuff.
Yeah, you got Tinder. Like there's a lot of ways.
It's easy to get caught up too now, cause you know, location, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that.
You know what's great? You see that? Like it's all about.
And our parents, I think, like that I can think of right now with our parents, I think their way of getting caught up is either you're gonna catch them in the streets, or that beeper will gonna catch them, or that voicemail that they used to have Key Sweat playing in the background will gonna catch them, and that beep will go off, and you start hearing, hey, this is Sharonda calling me. That's how they were gonna get caught up. But I feel like, just like we said, social media plays such a big part in it. We idolize social media, like, you know, whether it be other couples, we idolize and look to them. Oh, I want my relationship to be like them. And then when their relationship,
in relationship, want to be a Beyonce and Jay-Z.
But I don't know what happened behind.
But how? You know what I'm saying?
He cheated on her.
Yeah, he did.
That's why we
talk
need to
about
stop-
cheating.
That's why I like to say we need to stop idolizing all these people, because then when their relationships come tumbling down, then here we are. Oh, well, I guess none of us gonna be able to make it. No, baby. Oh, what I'm looking for is having God as my core and knowing He gonna get us through everything, no matter what. I got tired of looking at these relationships being like, oh, I want to be like them, or we're only seeing the 5 seconds or 10 seconds that they're putting up online, seeing this picture, but we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling this. So y'all feel like the reason millennials. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, sorry, okay, we kind of went over. What you feel like we kind of went over? We sorry. Well, what do you feel like the difference? We kind of skipped over.
I think it's kind of like you guys said, just the willingness to stick it out, and I think some even get married too quickly without having things like premarital counseling, and I highly recommend premarital.
Highly recommend. Me too. Highly recommend.
So that's the difference. That's the difference for me. I mean, like you said, because of technology and social media and so many platforms, there's a lot of distractions that could get in the way of marriage. Media pretty much, you see a lot of sex.
Right.
I mean, you're gonna see a lot of
Sex,
even on Facebook, you can be strolling and you see something that you probably don't want to see. You can see it in a strip club or something.
Don't get on social media, you'll see.
And so that could play with a person's mind, because that person, you're supposed to have your person that is supposed to be your one-stop shop.
Right.
That's a quote from Co-Faster and Watson Montgomery. But you're supposed to be able to find that conversation, that sex that mostly males need, that consoling that women need. Like, you're supposed to be able to find that in your person. And so there's a lot of little distractions in social media.
So without, you want to say something too?
Oh,
So without feel like that's the reason that like most millennials, like, cause you one of very few that's married right now, the reason why they're not being married, or they're not, or weird, or whatever they may be.
we did a question.
I think it goes back to what we were talking about, is people just, you said where you come from, people like, oh, it's just a piece of paper.
Right.
It's much more than that. There's if you make an oath between you and that person, or you that person and God, it's a commitment to basically stick it out. You can easily leave somebody, boyfriend, girlfriend, even if you're engaged, you can call it off. But in marriage is different. You have to stick it out. And I think Amy posted something that, what's the guy name? Horses in the back.
Oh, Lil Nas X.
Yeah, he was. What did he say? He was
I know what you're talking
marriage.
about. They're not doing it for like the community.
Yeah,
for the show.
they're doing it for the show, yeah.
Yeah, a wedding is one day, and I think it's such a false illusion. Everything is beautiful for that one day, and that's not what every day that's gonna follow is gonna be like. That's an illusion, and so many people invest so much time and effort into one day, a wedding day. It's an illusion, guys. There is happiness in marriage, but it's not gonna be just like that one day that you begin with.
Right. So
why you feel like millennials not even having?
I mean, you took
Yeah.
I already touched on the social
Yeah.
media and
I just
communication
And another thing I don't like a lot of, whether it be male or female, singles right now, like, they're seeing these women with like these like bodies, like, oh, I have to go get my booty to look like this, I gotta have my breasts to look like this, I gotta look like this certain image to get the man that I want. But I'm just like, baby, you're perfect on how you are. Your man is gonna love you how you are. You shouldn't have to fix yourself, physically.
to attract.
I think it's more of a self thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a self thing. Like, you have to, like, sometimes women might look in the mirror like, I don't want that. They might change.
I think I want to touch on the reason that we're not getting married. The generation is like, all right, if you go to the club or something, don't go in the summertime. Women being there half naked. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And everyone want a guy, thinking they gonna find that guy at the club. That's the last place you can do for somebody. I feel like the two last places you do for somebody to be with is social media and in the club. So I feel like that's the reason they not get married. But for the ones that are married, or want to get married, or in the process of getting married, how would y'all feel about, you know, what would you tell them?
Like advice?
Advice, yeah.
Well, the first thing, don't go into a marriage thinking it's gonna be easy. It's not like, you know, like the dating thing. Marriage is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It takes time. Let me see. I'll just open those real quick. Like it's a 50-50 thing. Like you have to go in knowing, and it almost wraps up what we've been talking about earlier. It's commitment. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you gotta have a solid foundation when you go in. Like you don't want to build a house, pour your concrete, don't let it set before you start putting the frame up. If you do that, the house is not gonna last long. So make sure you got a strong foundation, which I'm sure Kirsten appreciate this. God should be your foundation. That's number one. My advice is to take it slow. Keep an open mind. And again, like I said before, be willing to roll and adjust with the punches. It's just don't go in thinking it's just gonna be like dating. And then once you get married, you have to realize again what Danita said earlier. It's us now, not me. So that's really what I'm gonna say about that.
Communicate, get premarital counseling. I feel like I had something else to say, but I can't remember what else. Oh, don't bring any other baggage into your relationship. One of the things that I did before we went any further, like into getting married, was I actually called my exes and I forgave them because I didn't want to bring that into what we were starting, and that goes back to, like you said, foundation and about it.
Yeah, I would say one thing I would say, if you have, this is my advice, you don't have to take it. It's like you have parental issues that can affect you getting married. Like my advice is, you got a problem with your mama, or you got daddy issues, mama issues, handle it. Especially like you're a girl, you got daddy issues, mend it. Because what I was told was, it's hard for women to love a man if they don't love their daddy. So like the same thing with men. If you like you said, like you had to, you know, better have your mamas. Like if you have a hard time with a man, if you're a man, your mom got mommy issues, that can, like you said before, you disrespect it. That can affect you later down the line. So that's what I would say. I mean, I'm not no counselor, but that's what I would say. Like, deal with those issues before you get married, before you get engaged. Make sure you mend those, because those play a part later. They can play a part later on in your marriage.
Relationship.
Yeah.
Marriage for that. Not relationship. You shouldn't be outside back into something.
Yeah.
New.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Fix it.
You want new problems, not old problems to detain y'all from y'all go. You know what I'm saying? So I really liked it when she was like, she called her ex and she like, I forget you. I probably should take that into consideration.
Hey, I like that. Myself.
I want to kind of piggyback off of what you said. Forgiving people and what your past relationships you went through. I'm gonna say this: soul ties are real, people. Soul ties. What you went through in those past relationships, those, I want to say like they're still connected, but they're still connected. You're tied. You're still connected. You need to break those ties before you even go any further in any relationship that you're in. Because then you're wondering why you're going through depression and all this other stuff. Baby, I need you to go and pray about it and ask God to get them off of you before you because you don't want to go into your next relationship or be further along in your marriage if you're still over here suffering because you're still hanging on, you know?
So I'm gonna ask y'all this, the OGs, before we go. How you make your marriage last for this long?
Especially, you said 9 years? Hold on, wait, 9 years?
It would be nice, man.
Yeah, we got
That's a milestone. That's a milestone.
You guys been
Yeah.
You got 9. What's up?
So I got a group of friends that I grew up with. They've all been married at least, I think, well, the ones I've talked to, because I reached out to them just for this episode. You're talking 16, 17 years plus, all of them. And when I asked them all what makes your marriages work, every last one of them, communication. You ever heard people say, don't go to bed angry?
Yeah. Yep.
They were talking about that, how, I mean, you got, that's hard to do, because I'm an Aries.
I got a lot of pride.
Look, but here's the thing, like, okay, I'm an Aries, man.
Me too.
If you piss me off,
It's up there.
give me a moment, you know what I'm saying? But and that's what they were saying, you know what I'm saying? If you need just space for a minute, it shouldn't take days. You know what I'm saying? Take a few minutes, then come back. But they all said they don't let that issue just go away. They talk it out. That's critical, because you don't want to go to work, school, whatever, the next day still pissed off by something that happened last night. Because now you're going to work, taking it out on your coworkers, you know, your friends that you know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell wrong with you?
Yeah.
You know, so communication was big. You know, trustworthiness, you know, definitely be able to trust your partner. And man, what makes my marriage last is doing the little things that made you fall in love.
Like people and stuff like that.
If that's what you're doing, keep it up. I mean, it may not have to be all the time, but I mean, it could be something simple like, just bring some flowers home. Just whatever got you attracted to that person.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes I'd be at the store and I'd be like, my wife like M&M's. I just grab a bag of, you know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
And she's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It's the little things, man. It doesn't have to be going out buying a big old, bag or whatever. It's small things, man. But you'll know that through the communication and the dating process. You'll know their likes and dislikes. So I would say just keep doing the little things, and man, you gotta quality time
Yes.
is critical. You were asking about the love languages.
Yeah.
Mine is quality time. Like, I love spending time with my wife. I love we get to do things together. And you have to remember that your spouse comes first.
Yeah. Not mama.
When you right,
Exactly.
Mama's always gonna be mama, but my wife comes before mama.
Right.
Like that's we're one. You know what I'm saying? Mom's on the. I'm still gonna look after moms, whatever, but wife is number one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Keep outside people out of your relationship. Like, keep as much, like, you and your wife are the core. You know what I'm saying? Keep that outside influences out of your marriage.
I learned that same thing. That how you girl, you good? Ain't nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Good. You know, like
Yeah.
that's how you know it feels good.
So,
And then another thing I know, like, they say, like, you go and run and tell your mama or your best
Yeah.
friend, let me tell you what he done did. And then y'all over here done made up, and they over here still upset with him, right? And they'll hang on to it. Well, he was really doing all that.
Yeah.
Like, just you and him. Or him and her.
Okay, so once again, he pretty much said what I was saying, right? So, learn how to love your spouse. Most likely, if you don't know anything about the 5 love languages, look it up. You know, they have a book about it. They have talks about it. I'm pretty sure you can find it on YouTube. But find out how to love your spouse. Communication, as you said, that either between you and your spouse, you and God, or you and a counselor. You can still get counseling even in your marriage. And don't think that you're beyond, I always say don't think that you're beyond teachable. Don't think that nobody can tell you anything. He's teaching me something sitting right here. He's been, he's had 1 divorce and he's been married again, and his marriage is successful now. He's teaching me something. Be teachable. Listen to those people who are best and that know something. And I feel like I don't have to be first. Allow God to be first. I just want to come in second.
Right.
Period.
God is first.
Your friend has people off.
God is
Anyway, before we go, did y'all take y'all test?
Yeah, mine was
Nico.
service.
Are you talking about me? You
Bro,
take it?
I forgot.
I forgot. Person, you take your test? God, what's
Mine was acts of service. Like, it's just the little things that I like, whether it's helping me fold the clothes, helping me clean up the kitchen,
That's
like
why-
little stuff like that.
That's what I learned to do though. I was like last night I was folding clothes, listening to J. Cole. One fold clothes. You know, I ain't gonna lie. I was in there fold clothes, fold my clothes. That's one of the few times I've done that. I really don't fold my. You can ask, I don't fold my clothes. Like no, you need to fold them.
Clean basket.
Fold the towels, you know, fold them with the girl with new clothes, I mean, it look perfect. I tried. Like, she looked excited, so I was like, you know, I'm gonna start trying to do this.
Now what?
Along with this watching, you know, stuff like that.
I love it.
It's just a little
But
thing.
the only thing I would say with y'all is, I mean, I like to fold the clothes, but I like my towels a certain way. It's a certain way I got to fold my towels, and he'll fold them and they be too big. I just like, no, I
So
thank
you like
you.
the long and narrow?
Yeah,
I
like
the fat. See, I fold the fat.
Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like, it looks nice and neat. His be like thin and flat. No. I love that you fold it, but no, this is not how you do this. But like, I appreciate it. I still appreciate it, but just like, no.
Gotcha.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We see y'all.
Right.
Right.